Hello, my name's Ralph and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the valve guide that we have to make for Barry's head. We were up to Jimmy's and got it turned out. By the time we cleaned it out, there wasn't enough room to use a regular sort of valve guide or an oversized. But I have these blanks, which have the right size inside diameter. They're a little bit smaller so we can hone them out to what we need and turn this down and make a valve guide out of it to the right oversize for the head so that it will stay in there well. We're also going to be working away on our little new valve tool to check our openings and stuff, but we don't have enough time in this episode to show you that, so we've dedicated a whole separate episode to that. I'm sort of excited. I'm always excited when I got a new tool, be it exactly what it should be or not. They work for my purpose, and I always feel better when I'm using them. It puts a smile on my face to think I didn't have to spend the money at the store. I just went out and made one for myself. So stick around. Let's go do it. As you can see, the hole's been cleaned out. This is a standard one. So it took quite a bit to clean it up from top to bottom. I would have rather had it clean and gone the extra and make a guide than to have to put one in that was just sort of barely on the limits and it was only grabbing maybe half the way, 3/4 of the way. This way we've got a nice hole through this and it's grabbing the whole length of the hole. So I'm sure it's going to be a lot stronger than what it was. We're going to put a little shoulder on there so the guide will go down and bottom out at the proper depth. And we've got to clear this collar inside in this hole. And this hole right now gives me about 630 thou. So I want to be well under that. And I'm 680, 50 thou. Double check and make a couple cuts. You get lost. 670. So I need at least 630. That will do it. That will do it and leave us a nice small shoulder to butt up against. We get enough to slide over the collar now. Although there is a cutout in the back, but we're so fat that we need to cut some of it out. But we'll keep an eye on our depth when we sink that guide in there. Now next thing we have to do is put the taper on this. As you can see, the old guide, a little bit shorter and has quite a taper on the end of it. So we're going to have to put this in here and try to get our angle for the taper. And then we'll cut the taper off of this to depth, to where we want it. Right about there. Check a few other measurements and then we'll get at it. And we're not quite sure what the taper is here, but we do know the distance. So I'm going to take this old guide, and it's got some crud on the bottom of it and such. And we're set off at about 5 degrees. So I'm going to turn the compound in by hand, adjust it in, and see how close we can get to that original taper. cutting there, so I was thinking that we could probably go another degree, not really touching on the end. Try 4 degrees. Looks a little closer. I would say we'll probably go with that 6 degrees. It's not critical, but there needs to be something for a little bit for flow. So we're locking in. About as high as we want to go on that. Right about there. That's fine. We just touch that up a little bit. All right. Now we got one side of it. Shooting for 420 here. That's it. Now, just need to shorten the stem up. Still probably going to need a little bit off the top of that. There we go. That should do it. 675 from the bottom to the top. Bit by bit, little by little. 5035. That's what it should be. So that O-ring. Should fit in there. There we go. New valve guide. $26.5 over. Now we gotta get her to follow that hole straight. We should have her beat. Well, so there we have it, our new valve guide. Looks pretty good. I'm thinking it should work fine. I put the O-ring off the 25 thou over one in there and cut a groove for it. Today is the fitting day, and where we have to make it happen. We've finished our valve guide here, and we've got that all made to as close as we can to specs. And it's 1.5 thou over what the hole is. So we're hoping that it's going to drive in there okay. We're going to take this valve guide and put it in the freezer, and we're going to freeze it. And then we're going to take our old antique hot plates and heat the head up. It's the only way I know how to do it. I've done it for many years on different sorts of bikes. As far as the heat range goes, an old timer told me one time, you put that on the heating plate, and when the spit sizzles, when you spit on it and your spit sizzles, she's ready to drive the guide in. So that's what we're going to try and do today. I've had to make a special driver. We've got our Jim's Tool driver here, but I had to make a special end driver here so that I could put the valve guide in it and drive it into depth. It's very hard to tell. There's not much of a shoulder there, and you could keep beating on it and drive it even farther. But this will stop me from going too far and help us drive that guide right into the head straight. So here we go. Looks like we got everything ready here now. Driver, guide has just come out of the freezer. And spit is sizzling. So we're gonna go with that. You're in there. Now we'll just have to let it cool down and see if we're close. So it felt pretty good going in there, so I'm hoping that it's lined up. You never know until we go to cut the valve guide hole a little bit and see where we're at. That's going to tell us the truth of the matter, but everything's gone in there. It's fitted good. It's a nice press in there, you know, it didn't just fall in. I had to beat it in a little bit, so I'm pretty happy with that. We'll just let it cool down now, and then we'll probably have to get our valve guide hone out and start honing the hole a little bit and getting the valve to fit so we can see if we can cut the seat. Here's open. Well, we're at the end already, and we've got our valve guide in, but we didn't get much work done on our checker tool. So have a look on our channel, and you'll find it there, and it's a whole episode dedicated to it. It took longer than what was expected, but we didn't leave it out. It's just in a different episode. Thanks very much for your support. See you on the next one.